This is the Sani Bot D3X CPAP equipment cleaner. And I got to tell you, this is an awesome machine. I'm so happy I bought it. It does a phenomenal job in cleaning your equipment and sanitizing it. And that's what we all want. If you're like me, when you first got your CPAP machine, you were told to clean your equipment, meaning your mask and your hose and the humidifier every day. I tried doing that, but once a day quickly turned into once a week, then maybe once every 2 weeks, and then once in a while. That's what it turned out to. So this is just my opinion. I went out and I looked for other CPAP cleaners, and I was about to purchase the one that uses ozone, and then I found out that that is not FDA approved because the ozone will void the warranty on the CPAP machine. It's got something to do with how the ozone works. It could break down some material. So I certainly didn't want that. I did some research and I found Sani Bot, and I could not be happier. So I want you to know that the Sani Bot machines are FDA approved. So that was a big thing for me. They use hot water. They recommend using hot water from your tap. I use it directly from my bathtub, and I fill it up using just a gallon jug like this. And I'll show you some of the features on how everything works. Okay, so the first thing is, this is the valve that stores the water in the unit. So when you're filling up the unit, make sure that this valve is up. Never submerge the unit in water. Like I said, I just use my gallon jug like this of hot water from the bathtub. When you want to drain the water, you just want to move this valve to the right, and then it will drain into the sink or bucket, whatever you're using, or the bathtub. So when you're filling the unit, make sure that this valve is up. As I said, the unit uses hot water, and then it uses these cleansing tablets. You pop 1 or 2 into the water, depending on your preference or your needs. And then with the transducer in the machine, it will clean and sanitize your equipment. All right, so let's take a look at some of the features on this unit. The on-off button is in the back. Okay, when you look at the control panel, it is very easy to use. There are 4 buttons. There is the heater, then there's the temperature, the on-off button, and the time. Okay, so for the time, this machine works in 5-minute increments from 5 minutes to 30 minutes. I clean my equipment for 10 minutes at a time. It works out great. I think Sani Bot recommends using 10 minutes the first time you ever use the equipment, and then they said that you could use it for 5 minutes. I've done 10 minutes, but I've got no problem using 5 minutes because it does such an amazing job. You can go up to 30 minutes. It's your preference, and you know, if your equipment looks gunky or gross, maybe you want a longer time. Okay, now the heater, when you push the heater, you got to push the button twice, and you're going to see like some flames going up here on the control panel, which I will show you when we power up the unit. And then for the temperature, this unit has 3 temperatures. I think it's 122, 131, and 140. I use the 131 temperature. 122 is fine. Some people prefer 140. Just remember, when you are cleaning your equipment by hand, you are just using very hot water from your sink. So this will, this uses the very hot water, the same temperature of the hot water. You can go up a little higher. Don't freak out about it. You're not using boiling water. You don't want to use that. Certainly when you're filling the unit, make sure that you are using hot water from your sink or bathtub. Don't use room temperature water. Don't use distilled water. The heater is there to maintain the heat of the water that you put in or increase it a little bit, but it's not going to take room temperature water or ice water and make it hot. So don't make that mistake and then say that the unit doesn't work, because that's not what it's intended to do. With respect to the on-off button, you're going to press it twice, and then over here on the control panel, you will see a little flashing transducer. You'll hear the transducers knowing that the machine is working, but you got to push the button twice. Okay, this is the lid, and on this particular unit, When you want to not use a lid, you just place it right back here and it fits right there to dry or do whatever. Okay, now this is the metal plate. It has a little bit of weight to it. Its purpose is so that the equipment that's in the tank here doesn't float up to the top. You want all the equipment to be underwater so that the transducer and the tablets can clean it. So you don't want it floating to the top, so that's why that's there. It just goes on like this, just fits on. Okay. And then this is the basket where you put your materials in. You put your mask in there, you put your hose in there, and you can put your humidifier in there. You take apart the humidifier. I'll show you how to do that. I just put in my mask and my hose in this and the pillows for my mask in here. And then when I'm cleaning the humidifier, I take out the basket and I put it directly into the tank. You don't need the basket for that. It fits a little bit better. So obviously that's important because you want it submerged. And then here are the minimum and maximum lines. I don't know if you could see it for the amount of water that you fill into the unit. So I just wanted you to see where those were. Okay, so that is the unit. And now let me show you how to use it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to use the Sani Bot machine. The first thing is you take off the lid, and this particular machine has a place for you to place the lid so that it can dry. This is the metal plate that will keep the equipment from floating up to the top. This is the basket, and then this is the tank for the water. So the first thing I want to do is the unit is off. Let's fill it up with some water. I fill it up about halfway. Okay, then I turn on the unit. The power unit is in the back. We're going to turn it on. So here you can see the control panel. The temperature is set at 122. I'm going to take it up to 131. And then we're going to hit the heater so that this water can heat. In order to use the heater, you got to push the button twice. Okay, so now you see the flames, which indicate that the heater is working. All right, the next thing I do is my particular mask is a Philips pillow mask. So it's a little bit smaller mask and it's got the pillows. You don't have to take it apart, but I like to. So I just take off the pillows right here, throw it in the tank, and then here's the mask. You can leave these cushions for the face on there. You don't have to take them off. So I just put it in and submerge it. Okay, now this is the ResMed heated hose. You can see that it has the pins right here. It's okay to submerge them in water. The only thing that's important is that when you're done, you want to make sure that it's absolutely dry before you connect it up to your CPAP machine. All right, so Sani Bot recommends that you put one of its tablets inside the tube and you're going to fill the tube with water. So I just cut it in half and just pop it in there, and now we'll go fill it up with water. Okay, so now the tube is filled with water. If you can see the white here, it's the Sani Bot cleanser is already working inside the tube. So now you want to put that into the tank. So you could just squish it in there. The important thing is to make sure that the tops become submerged in the water. Okay, so I just put it in like this. We're going to put in some more water. And then I just take the rest of the tablet and another one and stick it in there. And now we're going to put the plate on. Okay, now let's close it up. All right, so as you can see, this little red light here means that it is up to 131 degrees. We're going to turn it on. I set the timer for 10 minutes. That was this button. And now to make it work, we'll push this button twice. And now you can see that the transducer is on and it's working. Now Sani Bot recommends that you never turn on the transducer without having water in there because you'll break the unit. All right, so now it's going to clean for 10 minutes. Okay, so the cycle is done. The first thing you want to do is either turn off the unit or unplug it. I'll just unplug it. We're going to take the lid and put it here on the stand. You're going to take off the metal plate. As you can tell from there, the water's kind of blue because the cleanser was working. Now there are two ways to drain this. You can either lift up the basket, pull up these pins, and you can lift up the basket. But what I like to do is actually drain the water first and then take the equipment out. So you want to push this lever to the right, and then that will start the water draining into the sink. As that's going, you can pull out the equipment. I just pull out the hose. And then I'll pull out the mask and the pillow. It's important that you rinse all the equipment off. And then here, you just want to, you can tilt the machine a little bit to the left so that it'll drain. There it goes. You're done. Now just turn this lever back up. They want you to put a little bit more water into the unit so that you can quickly rinse it. Which I do. I usually take out the basket and just rinse it, feel it around here for any residue, and then you can pull the lever again to the right. It's draining, and then you're done. And that's it. That's how to use the machine. Okay, so this is the ResMed humidifier, and people wanted to see how this fits in this particular unit. In order to use it, you have to unhinge it. So you just pull it apart right here and take it apart like that. It doesn't break. Now, when I put it into the unit, I don't use the basket. So there's no basket in here. I place this part here. I take off this plastic part and put it here so that it kind of fits. And then the top I put also open like this. So that's the first thing I do. Now you want to fill up the unit with water. Okay, so now when you're filling it, I recommend filling this open part of the humidifier first, and then filling a little bit more into the other side. Now before it's all full, take the metal plate and put it down because things are going to float. And then we want to turn the unit on, and we will set the heater. Okay, the temperature's at 122, we're going to use that. Now with this metal plate in place, you can pour the rest of the water in. All right, and then put in your tablet, and then you could turn it on. It'll take just a minute, but I'm just showing you how it works here. We're going to turn it on. And then cap it up. And that's it. Okay, this is the dryer for the DX3. When you get a dryer from Sani Bot, you have to make sure that you get the correct model for your particular Sani Bot machine. So this particular model just clips on easily to the back bracket of the machine. It has these knobs so you can tilt it up or down. It comes with these adapters so that it can fit any hose and any mask. So I just put them on here like that. For this one, I added my adapter from my tube, so it just fits nicely when I plug the mask in. All right, so then you just take, here's my hose. I just take it and I put it right on here, like that. And then I just like to throw it in here. And then I clip on my mask right here. And then you just turn it on. It's a cool air that goes through both the tube and the mask. It's not hot. It's not very forceful, but it does the trick. And it takes somewhere around 10 to 20 minutes. I haven't exactly timed it. What I also like to do is sometimes I take the end of the hose and I point it towards the fabric of the mask, and that just helps it dry a little bit quicker too. So That's the dryer unit. It's really helpful. If you don't use the dryer, you just have to hang up your mask and your hose like you would when you traditionally cleaned it. So that's it. Thanks for watching.